Hi again, everybody. This is Dan from Prayer Warriors, and today I'd like to talk about Moses and the incidents with the two rocks. Throughout the Bible, God uses all kinds of metaphors, similes, analogies, etc., to highlight different concepts in the Bible. Now, we might come along and miss the idea presented in the text, but God uses these literary devices to help us understand. Now, if we did this to someone else, understand that we might be tempted to say, "Hello, McFly, anybody home?" But God is more gracious than that. An example of this is the use of the word water. Water is compared to the Word, or Jesus, who is the Word, who became flesh. We are cleansed by Jesus of our sins, and then we are baptized in water to show outwardly what's happened to us inwardly. Now that's called justification. Then, to sanctify ourselves daily, we read the Bible and are washed by the water of the Word. In heaven, we are in our perfected, glorified bodies and don't need to be daily cleansed of our sins. So in heaven, we stand on the glassy sea. Another metaphor for Jesus is as a rock. During the wilderness wanderings, as they camped at Rephidim, the people were thirsty, so Moses was instructed by God to strike a certain rock and water would come out and give the Israelites life-sustaining water. Again, water representing Jesus. Later on at Meribah, the people were thirsty again, and Moses was instructed to speak to the rock. And this would have completed the concept, the representation of the Lord's two advents. The first time he was struck and bore our sins. The second time he will come as a lion of the tribe of Judah and speak the word, and his enemies have had it. Moses had had enough of all the grumbling and complaining, and he didn't follow directions. He was angry at the Israelites for everything along the way. So he said, "Hear you rebels, must we bring water?" And now God was not upset with them because they truly needed water. Now, I'm reminded of an old joke about Lone Ranger and Tonto, where all of a sudden they're in the wilderness and they're surrounded by thousands of Indians, and Lone Ranger says to Tonto, "Tonto, it looks like we're surrounded." And Tonto said, "What you mean we, Kemosabe?" So in this case, God is saying, "What do you mean we? I'm the one that brings the water." And God will not tolerate being misrepresented, even if it's by Moses. And that should be a warning to all the false teachers that are out there today. Because he disobeyed, Moses was not allowed to go into the promised land, but could only look into it from a nearby mountain. After his death, his body was buried by God. Now, why? Well, we don't know for sure because bodies return to the dust. Why was his body taken and protected? Does he have a future being resurrected in the tribulation and being one of the two witnesses? Well, maybe. Can't prove it. The miracles that are performed in the tribulation, however, are unique to the Old Testament miracles of Elijah and Moses. Or it could be Elijah and Enoch, as some say. We don't know for sure. Film at 11. Moses did appear, however, on the Mount of Transfiguration with Elijah, talking with Jesus. Now, that shows God's grace that he did allow Moses into the promised land eventually for that meeting, albeit it was after Moses' death. Now, please check out the links below, and may God bless you.